You ever notice how one kid can be totally zoned in with chaos all around them, while another gets completely overwhelmed by the tag on their shirt? Or why one child is constantly on the move, climbing and crashing, while another could happily sit and read for hours? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on the hidden world of individual differences. We're going to explore the unique ways each child experiences reality, because that's the key to understanding what's really going on with their behavior.
All right, so let's get right into it. For a long time, we've kind of had this one-size-fits-all playbook for child development and behavior. But what happens when that playbook just doesn't work? We're about to see why trying to fit every child into the same box is so often a recipe for frustration for everyone involved.
This quote from Steve Silberman, wow, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? A label, a diagnosis. That's just the title of the book. It doesn't tell you anything about the chapters inside, their history, their inner world, how they actually experience life. To really get it, you have to read the whole story.
And that's really the heart of it, right? We just can't expect the same strategies to work for every single child. Each one has a completely unique biological roadmap. Trying to apply a single template is like trying to use one key to open every door in a city. It just ignores the very thing that makes them who they are.
Okay, so we're throwing this term around, individual differences. But what does that actually mean? Because, it's way more than just personality quirks or whether a kid likes broccoli. Let's really break down what this concept means for development.
So you see the official definition there, but let's translate that. In simple terms, it means every single one of us is wired differently. It's about how your brain handles everything the world throws at it. Sights, sounds, the feeling of the chair you're sitting on, even your own heartbeat. This isn't just a minor detail. It's the fundamental operating system you're running on.
And you've probably seen a pyramid like this before, right? It shows us exactly where everything has to start. Before a child's brain can even begin to think about making friends, or learning to read, or doing math, it has one primary job: to feel safe and regulated. If their inner world feels like a constant storm, their brain literally cannot prioritize anything else. That foundation has to be rock solid.
And it goes even deeper than that. This individual profile, it includes everything. How well did they sleep last night? Are they dealing with allergies or stomach issues? Can they see the board clearly? Do they feel supported and safe at home? All these things are pieces of a giant, unique puzzle that makes up a single human being.
Now we get to the part that is, and I'm not exaggerating here, a complete game changer for so many people. We all talk about our senses, but what if I told you that the world you learned about in kindergarten was missing some pretty huge pieces?
So think back to grade school. We all learned the classic five, right? Sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. But is that it? Is that the whole story of how we experience the world around us? Get this, the answer is 8. There are 3 other senses, kind of hidden senses, that are running in the background all the time. And they're absolutely critical for, well, pretty much everything. And they often hold the key to behaviors that seem totally mystifying.
Okay, so on top of the big 5, we have proprioception. That's your brain's sense of where your body parts are without having to look. It's how you can touch your nose with your eyes closed. Then you've got the vestibular sense, which comes from your inner ear. It's your internal GPS for balance and gravity. And finally, interoception. That's your sense of what's going on inside your body. Are you hungry, thirsty? Do you need to use the bathroom? So when you see a child who's constantly crashing into things, they're not just being rough, they might be desperate for that proprioceptive input to feel where their body is in space. That kid who could spin forever? Maybe their vestibular system needs a ton of input just to feel regulated. It changes how you see everything.
So just imagine that. You have 8 different channels of information pouring into your brain every single second of every day. How in the world does the brain manage all of that? And more importantly, how does it turn all that information into action?
This is one of my favorite ways to picture it. Think of your brain as a giant sound mixing board, and each one of those 8 senses has its own slider. Now, for every single person on the planet, those 8 sliders are set to completely different levels. That's your unique sensory profile.
So someone might be hyper-responsive to sound. Their auditory slider is cranked way up. A normal conversation might feel like a rock concert. Or they could be hypo-responsive to touch. That slider's turned way down. They might not even notice a tap on the shoulder, and they might crave big, deep-pressure hugs just to feel grounded. This is why some kids avoid messy play, while others will dive headfirst into a mud puddle. They're just trying to get their mix right.
But wait, there's another crucial layer here. And this question from the great Dr. Stanley Greenspan gets right to it. It's not just about the information coming in, it's about what the brain does with that information. Things like visual spatial processing, knowing where you are in relation to the things around you, that's the bridge between just sensing the world and actually being able to act in it.
And this amazing process, this bridge from thought to action, has a name: praxis. It sounds complex, but it's a 4-step dance you do 1,000 times a day. First, you get the idea. I want to catch that ball. Then your brain instantly plans out the steps. After that, you execute the plan. Your body organizes and moves. And finally, you adjust based on what happens. Now imagine if there's a glitch anywhere in that chain. For some kids, a simple task like getting dressed can feel like climbing a mountain because of a breakdown in one of those steps. Okay, let's pull all of these threads together. We've talked about the 8 senses, the mixing board, this idea of praxis. What's the big so what here? How does knowing all this actually change anything on the ground? Well, it gives us a completely new lens to see through. This right here, this is the whole point. When we can shift our perspective and see a behavior not as defiance or a choice to be difficult, but as a logical, predictable response to their internal sensory world, everything changes. We stop asking, "Why won't you just listen?" and we start asking, "I wonder what this feels like for you." And in that moment, frustration melts into empathy. It's the difference between trying to control a behavior and truly connecting with a human. And that empathy, it's not just a nice, fluffy feeling. It's the engine. As this powerful quote reminds us, relationships are the absolute bedrock of all development. Feeling seen, feeling understood, feeling safe, that is the fertile ground where all growth happens. And understanding a child's unique, individual differences is our entry point to building that kind of powerful, life-changing relationship.
So, I want to leave you with this thought. The goal isn't just to change how we see children. It's about allowing our understanding of them to change us. If you could really truly step inside their sensory world for just a minute, how would it change your reactions, your assumptions, your relationship? What amazing things could you build from that new place of understanding?